The gap widens between what's happening, what's to come, and what we can do about it. But what if I told you there's a way to bridge that gap? A way for you to not just keep up but to thrive in this complex and dynamic landscape. Imagine a total mind shift, a breakthrough that not only connects the dots between future events but also taps into our collective humanity. It's a system view that doesn't just predict the future, it builds it, one innovative solution at a time. Ready to be part of something bigger? Ready to shape the future instead of just reacting to it? It starts with our free webinar on strategic foresighting, hosted by Shui Agbida, the leadership growth enabler and learning and development specialist. Join us on Saturday, January 13, 2024, at 6 p.m. Attendance is free, but registration is compulsory. Start your 2024 on the right path. In a world that's changing faster than ever, each day brings new challenges, innovations, and global transformations. As we grapple with the exponential pace of change, the gap widens between what's happening, what's to come, and what we can do about it. But what if I told you there's a way to bridge that gap? A way for you to not just keep up but to thrive in this complex and dynamic landscape. Imagine a total mind shift, a breakthrough that not only connects the dots between future events but also taps into our collective humanity. It's a system view that doesn't just predict the future, it builds it, one innovative solution at a time. Ready to be part of something bigger? Ready to shape the future instead of just reacting to it? It starts with our free webinar on strategic foresighting, hosted by Shui Agbida, the leadership growth enabler and learning and development specialist. Join us on Saturday, January 13, 2024, at 6 p.m. Attendance is free, but registration is compulsory. Start your 2024 on the right path. In a world that's changing faster than ever, each day brings new challenges, innovations, and global transformations. As we grapple with the exponential pace of change, what's to come, and what we can do about it, a way to bridge that gap, a way for you to not just keep up but to thrive in this complex and dynamic landscape. Imagine a total mind shift, a breakthrough that not only connects the dots between future events but also taps into our collective humanity. It's a system view that doesn't just predict the future, it builds it, one innovative solution at a time. Ready to be part of something bigger? Ready to shape the future instead of just reacting to it? It starts with our free webinar on strategic foresighting, hosted by Shui Agbida, the leadership growth. Start your 2024 on the right path. In a world that's changing faster than ever, each day brings new challenges, innovations, and global transformations. What's to come, and what we can do about it. But what if I told you there's a way to bridge that gap? A way for you to not just keep up but to thrive in this complex and dynamic landscape. Imagine a total mind shift, a breakthrough that not only connects the dots between future events but also taps into our collective humanity. It's a system future, it builds it, one innovative solution at a time. Ready to be part of something bigger? Ready to shape the future instead of just reacting to it? It starts with our free webinar on strategic foresighting, hosted by Shui Agbida, the leadership growth enabler and learning and development specialist. Join us on Saturday, January 13, 2024, at 6 p.m. Attendance is free, but registration is compulsory. Start your 2024 on the right path. In a world that's changing faster than ever, each day brings new challenges, innovations, and global transformations. As we grapple with the exponential pace of change, the gap widens between what's happening, what's to come, and what we can do about it. But what if I told you there's a way to bridge that gap? A way for you to not just keep up but to thrive in this complex and dynamic landscape. Imagine a total mind shift, a breakthrough that not only connects the dots between future events but also taps into our collective humanity. It's a system view that doesn't just predict the future, it builds it, one innovative solution at a time. Ready to be part of something bigger? Ready to shape the future instead of just reacting to it? It starts with our free webinar on strategic foresighting, hosted by Shui Agbida, the leadership growth enabler and learning and development specialist. Join us on Saturday, January 13, 2024, at 6 p.m. Attendance is free, but registration is compulsory. Start your 2024 on the right path. In a world that's changing faster than ever, each day brings new challenges, innovations, and global transformations. As we grapple with the exponential pace of change, the gap widens between what's happening, what's to come. Each day brings new challenges, innovations, and global transformation.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and you are welcome. In case you are seeing me for the very first time, my name is Sheya. I am the Leadership Growth Enabler and the Learning and Development Specialist. I specialize in helping individuals and organizations to discover clarity and become the very, very best versions of themselves through coaching and training interventions. And this is one of the many interventions that we use to achieve our vision of making our world a much better place to live in, one mind at a time. Now, if you're joining this for the very first time, this is a webinar series, right? And it's titled Strategic Foresighting, right? It's a strategic foresighting series, and we have been looking at leadership lessons from Who Moved My Cheese. Leadership lessons from Who Moved My Cheese. Now, Who Moved My Cheese is a book by Dr. Spencer Johnson. It's a pretty short book. I would recommend that you read it, but we've been talking about it all through. So by now, if you've been a part of the series, you should have an idea of what it is that the book is all about. So there are 4 characters in the book. Those are the 4 characters: Sniff, Scurry, Hem, and Whore, right? And this iteration for a webinar, strategic foresighting webinar that we are having tomorrow. Now, what is strategic foresighting? It's just a way of looking into the future and to strategically prepare to remain relevant, to remain productive, to remain profitable despite whatever situation it is that you face, you get yourself in. You know, we're living in a VUCA world, and how do you ensure that you remain relevant in times like this? That's what it is that we're looking at. So it's for individuals, it's for organizations, it's for C-suite executives, it's for whoever it is. So far you want to remain relevant in the time that we are in, this is meant for you. Now, if you haven't registered for that, you should have seen some of the videos playing earlier. If you haven't registered for that, you need to register for that because it's going to be a closed room. Right now, we are streaming on multiple platforms. We are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn, and we are on YouTube, right? But for that webinar, it's going to be a closed room because we need it to be a little more interactive. We're going to have group activities and all of that to work with. So we can't do that in this model that we are in. That's why you need to register for that. For those joining us on whatever platform, please let us know where it is that you're joining us from. You can drop the comments in the comment box there. We will try to take a look at those and talk about them. Let us know if you've been a part of the series in the past, what you've gained from it, or if you're just joining us for the very first time, what you're hoping to gain from it. We would like to know about that. Okay, for the benefit of those that are joining us for the very first time, I usually play a video so that you have an idea of what the book is about. Not everybody would have read the book, right? But at least if you watch this video, it gives you an understanding of what the book is about. It's a 3-minute video, explains the book to you, so you have an understanding of what it is we're talking about and how we're approaching our conversations for today. So while I'm playing the video, I'm going to encourage you, invite your friends, invite your colleagues. If you're a leader and all of that, and you have people that you work with, or you have team members, invite them, send the links to them, let us all learn together. And ultimately, remember, the goal is to make our world a much better place to live in. So invite everybody and let us come together so that we can make our world a much better place to live in indeed. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video, and I will see you right after the video. Bye-bye for now.
Who Moved My Cheese is about dealing with change in your work and in your life. Cheese being a metaphor for what you want in life. Everyone has their own idea what cheese means to them, and we go after it because it maze in the story represents where you look for your cheese, or happiness. You're changing, and you should not get comfortable or where you left it. In doing so will help you deal with change and bring you greater success, no matter how you define success for yourself. The 4 characters in the story represent parts of us, and it's up to you to identify which parts you are now and which you would rather be from now on. There's 2 mice who don't overthink everything and just get on with life. Sniff constantly sniffs out the change and is ready for it. Scurry goes into action immediately without needing to know all the information. Then there's two little people, really smart people who've done well for themselves so far. Hem, he likes to stay in a safe, familiar territory, and Haw, who's slow to adapt to change but is open-minded. Sniff and Scurry go out and seek new cheese every day. Hem and Haw comfortably rely on their past knowledge and experience and assure themselves the cheese will be right where they left it. Hem and Haw even moved their house closer to their cheese and built a social life around it. They became so comfortable they didn't even notice what was happening. Sniff and Scurry noticed the cheese was diminishing and that one day it wasn't there. But they were not surprised. They were prepared and knew what to do. The situation had changed, so they decided to change. They sniffed and scurried in search of new cheese. Hem and Haw had not been paying attention to the changes. They took it for granted and were unprepared. How could this have happened, they thought? Nobody warned them. They wanted to believe somebody moved their cheese and didn't want to believe that they had failed to notice it getting smaller and smaller every day. Hem's complicated brain and deep belief system demanded to know why this had been done to him. While Hem and Haw were busy worrying about what happened to them, Sniff and Scurry were already out finding new cheese in uncharted territory, and it didn't take long before they found new cheese and started enjoying life again. Hem and Haw remained bitter and angry about not having their old cheese, complaining how life was unfair to them. They got used to being comfortable and were now afraid to go find new cheese. They got stuck in a habit of doing the same things over and over again and wondering why things didn't get better. Eventually, Haw realized the cheese was never coming back and may have to face his fears and go find new cheese. He finally stopped blaming others and took responsibility for himself. After all, it is safer to search in the maze than remain in a cheeseless situation. As Haw enjoyed his newfound cheese, he reflected on past mistakes and realized nothing got better until he changed. He didn't like it at the time, but the change was a blessing in disguise. Hem was too stubborn, or proud, or just simply unwilling to change. Nobody knows what became of Hem. Move with the cheese.
Okay, so you are leadership. Patience in leadership. Now, when we're talking about patience, what is patience in leadership? That's the capacity to endure challenges and uncertainties with composure and perseverance. Composure. Yesterday I was talking about how Barack Obama was the president when the 9/11 happened, and he was actually in a primary school when he got the news of the event. He had to express composure. You can imagine if he was in school, talking with children, and then he just lost it that when he told him America has been hit, Twin Towers are down, and all of that. If he did not respond he left that place. The children didn't even understand what was going on. The greatest country in the world, arguably, the capital of the world had just been hit by terrorists, and the president was acting calm and all of that. That took some high level of leadership, endurance and patience, right? So it's the capacity to endure challenges and uncertainties with composure and perseverance. That's what we're talking about today. Now, what is strategic waiting? So patience is strategic waiting. This is not just waiting aimlessly, right? This is strategic waiting. What do we mean, or what do I mean by strategic waiting? It is the intentional and strategic delay in decision making to gather more information and ensure a more informed choice. Yesterday I was talking about decision making for leaders and all of that, and I was saying there are different models for agile decision making and all of that, but you need to understand that all these models have their pros and cons. Some of them have quick decision making processes. However, they have high risks in terms of you don't have enough time to weigh both options, or all the options rather, before making a decision. Some of them you have enough time to weigh all the options. However, you are compromised because it delays the decision-making process and all of that. So you have to constantly try to balance this quick decision-making and making the right decision and all of that. So strategically waiting is the intentional and strategic delay. It's not just delaying it, it's delaying it until, so like Barack Obama at that time could have just ordered, what? The 9/11 had been hit, okay, go bomb and all of that. No, he didn't do that, right? He got back to his office, obviously, left that environment and got full feedback. What exactly has happened? How exposed are we? What do we need to do? He obviously has to get feedback from all his service chiefs and all of that before taking a decision and all of that. So that's what strategic waiting is about. Well, you can't call it patience. I just call it strategic waiting here. It's the intentional and strategic delay in decision making to gather more information and ensure a more informed choice. Now, tomorrow we'll be gathering information that would help you make a more informed choice as well. So you need to be a part of that. Now, patience is not passive waiting. Patience is not passive waiting, but a resilient and focused endurance during the journey. Focused. So it's not just being passive, you're just waiting, you're killing time. No. Like I said earlier, strategic waiting, you are gathering information, analyzing your risk, looking at all the opportunities. Why? So it is delaying it purposely. It's not just waiting aimlessly. Okay? So when I'm talking about patience here, it's not just be patient and just wait. No. Flexibility is not just about swift adaptation, right? It's about tempering that adaptability with patience. Like I said, you need to constantly weigh these things: flexibility and patience, or swift decision making and level of risk. It's a seesaw game, and it's something that leaders have to face all the time. How do you get to balance this? How do you get to ensure that you're swift enough, but you're still calculating it and all of that? That's essentially what this is about. It's a skillful process that leaders have to learn. Okay, so you need to learn the patience, which is not passive waiting, but resilient and focused endurance, and then flexibility, which is not just about making decisions quickly and all of that, but tempering adaptability with patience. So these two go hand in hand, right? Now, as usual, I'll give you a quote for today. So today's quote is, sometimes Ham, this was Hor that was talking to Ham, right? This was when Hor was trying to convince Ham that, come on, let's go, their cheese have been gone, let's go look for cheese out there and all of that. So Hor said to Ham, sometimes Ham, things change and they are never the same again. Earlier in this series, I was talking to you about how the pandemic changed a lot of things, and things will never go back to the same again. Remote work is never going to go away. Okay? Okay, sorry, you're not saying that. Yeah, so sometimes Ham, things change and they are never the same again. Paul was quick to understand, look, this is one of those times. These things have changed. Our cheese has gone. It is never going to come back again. That's life. Life moves on, and so should we. Say to someone, life moves on and so should we. We have gained some things, we have lost certain things. You lost a business transaction, you lost your job, you did whatever. Life happens. That's life. There's no point crying over what you can't change. Their cheese had gone, and Hor was saying to him, you know what? It's whether it was our fault or not, it has happened. That's life. Let's move on. Let's find a solution. And that's what we're trying to help you do by tomorrow. Let's find a solution. So that's my charge. That's the quote from the book today. And that's my charge from you today. An example of someone that does this effortlessly. I'm sure you know who this is. This is Jeff Bezos, right? I mean, he exercised patience in the early years, focusing on long-term goals rather than immediate gains, right? When with the whole business and all of that started, their operations were, even up till now, they still have, so for example, when he launched the 24-hour delivery, or when he launched free delivery services and all of that for some cases and all of that, a lot of people felt this guy, it's not possible. This is not a sustainable model. Your business is going to die out and all of that. He wasn't looking at the now. He was looking at the future. He was positioning himself he wanted to deal with volume and not quality. He wanted to deal with quantity. So he was doing a lot of things, taking a lot of decisions, waiting patiently for when certain things will happen so that he would take advantage of the market. And look at what he is today. Presently, well, arguably one of the richest guys in the world today. Even after his divorce, I was sharing somewhere recently that his ex-wife now, after their divorce, gained, was it $80 billion out of their divorce. She became the third richest woman in the world without working. All because he married this guy and divorced him. But despite the huge settlement that his wife got, he still remains one of the richest guys in the world. Can you beat that? Can you imagine having $80 billion taken out of your net worth and you are still one of the richest guys in the world? That's something else. Anyway, let me come back to what it is we're talking about. So, I mean, this is someone that you need to. I listen to this guy a lot. I study him a lot because, I mean, when you have someone that has proofs, what else? What else do you need? All right. So, let's run. How to actively incorporate patience into our leadership style. So the first thing is strategic decision making. And strategic decision making starts with strategic foresight. You need to have a foresight, and then from there you can take decisions, which is one of the things we'll be looking at in the webinar tomorrow. Strategic decision making. Encourage leaders or everybody to adopt a strategic weighted approach in certain decision making scenarios. Ensure you have the full facts. Remember, we're talking about it's not just about taking risk, but calculated risk if you don't have the full facts. So you need to adopt a strategic weighting approach in certain decision-making scenarios, not in organizing and when patience can lead to more informed choices. So sometimes it is, like I said, it's a constant process, and you need to learn it. It's a skill. The more you do it, the better you get at it. You keep refining your process and all of that. And this is what we help leaders to do. You can reach out to us. We can help you to develop that capacity more. Now, second thing I'm going to talk about is resilience training. Implement resilience training programs for leaders and for your team members, for yourself. Get resilience training programs. Develop resilience. How do you develop resilience? There are trainings and ways to develop this. Equip yourselves with the tools to endure challenges with grace and determination. Resilience is key. Sometimes things are not going well as you plan. Sometimes it takes a lot. Can I be honest with you? It takes resilience for myself to be here doing this every day consistently for 11 days. That's some level of resilience. And then we're still going to do this tomorrow as well. So that's 12 days of coming here every day to meet with you. That's some level of resilience. And then the last one, goals, you have the short term, which may be between 6 months to a year. You have the mid-term, which may be 2 years to 5 years, and then you have long-term, which is 5 years and more, right? Long-term goal setting. So if I ask you, what is your long-term goal? Where do you hope to be 10 years from now? I mean, I was sharing with some, like I said, I have a close group of people that I work with, a coaching program, and I was sharing with them my 10-year plan. And they were wondering, you have a 10-year plan? Yes, this is my 10-year personal plan, not even that for my organization. So let me share for our organization, one of the plans we have, well, this is maybe a mid-term plan. It can be because it's a 5-year plan. We plan to reach 3 million people directly or indirectly in the next 5 years. That's a long-term plan. Part of what we're doing now is for every one of you that joins our webinars, that listens to us, that gets impacted by what it is that we're doing, you are one of the 3 million people that we're trying to reach. So what are your long-term plans? Foster a culture. I was listening to, for those that know this man, he's probably the wealthiest or definitely the wealthiest 30-year plan for his organization. Now, forget the fact that yes, he's a pastor, he's a religious leader and all of that. But if you go to what it is he has done, he has established an institution. He has a super long plan. How many of you have 2 years plan for your life, 5 years plan, 10 years plan. Well, I haven't gotten as far as 50 years, I'll be honest. I have a 10-year plan. So foster a culture of goal setting and pursuing long-term plans. Celebrate milestones along the way. Talked about that one of the days as well. Little milestones, celebrate yourself. It's a propeller for you to do more. You did a little thing today, achieved the little things today, fantastic. You may have a 50-year plan. What if achieve something? Reinforcing the idea that enduring challenges is part of the journey. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun. I've enjoyed doing this with you. It's been every day since the 2nd of January up till now. It's because of how much it is that we love to give. And this is just to invite you once again. We'll be having the Strategic Foresighting webinar tomorrow. If by now you haven't, this is your last opportunity. I hope there's still space because, like I said, we have a limited number of spaces that we can accommodate. So register for that. You can scan the QR there, or someone should have dropped the link in the comment section for you. Ensure you register and be there tomorrow. It starts at 7 p.m. my time, which is I'm here in Europe, right? So it's about 7 p.m. my time. If you're in West Africa, it should be 8 p.m. your time. If you're in South Africa, it is 9 p.m. your time. If you are in the UAE, you might need to wait a bit early, wait up a bit later. It should be 11 p.m. your time. If you are in the US or Canada, it should be about 1 p.m. your time. Let us all come together. We've chosen a Saturday so that, a lot of people are off work at that time, so that we can all come together, look at 2024 and position ourselves strategically for the year, so that at the end of the year, we'll all be celebrating our wins together. Remember, our vision is to make our world a much better place. If out of this webinar that we're giving to you, at the end of the day, you take this, you run with it, and you have results from it, we are happy. We have made you happy, you've made us happy, because you're helping us to achieve our goals of making our world a much better place. So that's it. And we invite you to be a part of that webinar tomorrow. And I can guarantee you, you're not going to regret that you did that. Spread the word, share the links to as many people as possible. If you've gained any value out of all these webinars that we've done, the webinar series, please let us do more like this. And if there's anything that it is you want us to put in our future webinars, or anything that we want to, just let us know how it is we can serve you better. That's it for us. So ladies and gentlemen, it's been nice doing this with you. I've enjoyed every day of it. It ends tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to seeing every one of you tomorrow. On that note, thank you very much. Remember, there's greatness on your inside, and the world is waiting for you. And I will see you at the webinar tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.
In a world that's changing faster than ever, each day brings new challenges, innovations, and global transformations. As we grapple with the exponential pace of change, the gap widens between what's happening, what's to come, and what we can do about it. But what if I told you there's a way to bridge that gap? A way for you to not just keep up but to thrive in this complex and dynamic landscape. Imagine a total mind shift, a breakthrough that not only connects the dots between future events but also taps into our collective humanity. It's a system view that doesn't just predict the future, it builds it, one innovative solution at a time. Ready to be part of something bigger? Ready to shape the future instead of just reacting to it? It starts with our free webinar on strategic foresighting, hosted by Shui Agbida, the leadership growth enabler and learning and development specialist. Join us on Saturday, January 13, 2024, at 6 p.m. Attendance is free, but registration is compulsory. Start your 2024 on the right path. In a world that's changing faster than ever, each day brings new challenges, innovations, and global transformations. As we grapple with the exponential pace of change, the way to bridge that gap, a way for you to not just keep up but to thrive in this complex